She offered her research to the FBI.
And their response was, we are tasked with terrorism. We are working on these things. It just isn't the biggest priority for us. I think that needs to change.
Brianna Wu, the social justice goblinoid who wanted mean things said on the internet to be of higher priority for the FBI to deal with than terrorism, will be running for Congress in 2018. Before we even get into why Wu being in any kind of authority position or anywhere where they'll have any kind of influence would be terrible for mankind as a whole, I have to talk about something that infuriates me. Something is not right with what surrounds this person. Something is going on. I mean, no one believes this.
I mean, you are a really major figure in your world and an inspiration to a lot of people, particularly young women, I know, who want to go into this field.
No one genuinely looks up to Brianna Wu as an influential figure in games development. No, it's just not a thing. If every single person who's ever played her games looked up to her as some kind of god, she still wouldn't be that influential. And yet, that keeps being repeated. Why? It could simply be because people are trusting and echoing the hideously corrupt gaming press who sang her praises during Gamergate, which is quite likely, or it could be because something else is going on. Either way, I played Wu's game, and it was an abomination. Her name's Holiday and it's got Christmas colours. Is that the joke? Scan the titty. Diagnose, just like being a doctor in real life. Why would I want to look around this? My life is less rich for having seen this. This is like negative art. It decreases life's meaning. Who could enjoy this combat? Who made this fight? I'm not going to step over the line and hurt myself. Yeah, come on, step over here. Fine, do that again, whatever. One more. No. One more. Yes, there we go. Is that some Spore Creature Creator stuff? Just done in neon cut, excuse me? Wow! If you take too long, it takes control and points you where you've got to go. Yeah, if you're an ass man, and if you have no fucking standards and you like asses, this is the game for you. And that's not just my opinion. It has an overwhelmingly negative reception from the few people out of the few people who bought it on Steam who even cared to review it. In fact, I know for certain that some of the positive reviews are fake and insincere because mine's one of them. In terms of game development, Brianna Wu is a failure. You cannot call her anything else and be accurate. I could somewhat tolerate the deception of the gaming press, pretending this is a competent person, but now Wu's getting involved in politics, I can't. Don't you dare sugarcoat it. This person is a fuck-up. This isn't someone who's made a mistake or two. This is someone who is consistently terrible and ruins everything they touch. Brianna Wu is a clown, and if you somehow make them look like anything else, it means you must be knowingly helping to clean up their appearance. For example, back during the height of Gamergate, Wu was interviewed on the David Pakman show. I found him to be quite soft, but Wu got a very different impression.
I had to tell you, I feel like this is kind of a hit piece that you're doing on me right now, to be honest.
Let's talk about that. Hold on a second.
Well, in a moment. I want to answer your question first. I feel like you're really putting me on trial here.
No, by no means. By no means. I think that that's an unfair allegation.
Okay.
What the hell is that? It's like someone looking after a quick-to-tantrum child, afraid they might go off on one. And that's how her treatment's almost always been from what I've seen. Here's another clip, this time from Huffington Post Live.
Believe it or not, Brianna, 8chan is not all about you.
All right, guys. Let's I don't want to leave it there. Frederick. It was kind of unnecessary to do that, Brianna. I apologize for those last comments.
Goes a little bit beyond moderating discussion and into delusional fucknut daycare mode, I feel. Like they don't want a social justice hand grenade to go off in their face if they handled this freak too roughly. Yeah, Brianna Wu was clearly born with a cock. Be polite and refer to Brianna as her or whatever you want to do, but don't be gentle on this clusterfuck of a human being. If you want to be a squeaky clean good guy, look at it like this. By running for Congress, she's consented to a hardcore beatdown. And if we get a repeat of the brain-dead mass defense of this degenerate we saw during the height of Gamergate, I'm going to go full death machine mode. Just out of sheer irritation at people pretending this person is anything other than what they are. Brianna Wu is a whack job, not even a crazy genius, just crazy. Oh, and incompetent. I mean, Wu can't even send out her first campaign ad right. She forgot to include a donation link in the first email. For fuck's sake! She can't even get her new money-grubbing begging scheme going right. And it's not like she's pulling any punches, despite her underprivileged position on the progressive stack. She can be quite vicious and nasty. Anyway, the point of this video is to show you this abominable ad she's published. So let's get stuck in.
I'm truly terrified of what's going to happen to women's rights under this president.
Where do I even start? Politicians are always going to be kind of fake, but I think using autotune is going a bit fucking far. Listen to this shit again if you didn't pick it up.
I'm truly terrified of what's going to happen to women's rights under this president.
Going a bit sci-fi there, like Cortana or some other AIs running for Congress. Did you really not have enough time to do multiple takes until it sounded right without being edited like that? Your voice isn't so deep and manly that you need to pitch shift it that much. And how was 2016 brutal for women? It was brutal for feminism, sure. It was brutal for Hillary Clinton, yes. Women as a whole, though? Not really seeing it. And which rights are you worried about, Brianna? I'm completely willing to listen.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
What's the relevance of that clip? Do you think Trump's going to legalize random pussy grabbing? And by the way, yeah, I knew what he said anyway, but you're such a fuck up that you can't even censor your ad properly. See? Great job. Nice one. Clearly a master of digital media. Look, there is a bunch of scary Trump stuff, but this ain't it.
I shouldn't hear more from Teen Vogue about women's rights than from the man that represents me in Congress.
Right. I'm not that familiar with Teen Vogue. Big surprise, I know. But I went to their site, and it's covered in activism. It's a young women's magazine with a focus on progressive politics and activism, by the looks of it. So yeah, you should actually be hearing more from them about women's rights than from anyone else. Because if you're not, then they're not catering to their apparent target audience well enough. I'm going to help you out here, Brianna. You need to compare your representative to something that isn't focused heavily on women's rights, but which still talks about them more. Then your rhetoric will bear some weight, really click with people. The way you've done it just makes people stop for a second and go, no, wait, no, actually I should hear more from them. Let me shift it around a bit to show you. Listen to this. I shouldn't hear more about the environment from Greenpeace than I do from the man who represents me in Congress. Doesn't really hit right, does it?
Republicans have promised to repeal Obamacare, and now the process is underway.
And it's ironic because more unintended pregnancies is actually going to increase the number of women seeking abortions, and then the number of women who'll die trying to seek them illegally. Exactly. It is frightening.
Wow, that is something to think about. Good use of clips there, Brianna. That really gets to your heart. I can imagine putting myself in their shoes and...
So screw them. You should feel no shame burning this bill to the ground.
Whoa there. I'm not too familiar with Greg Gutfeld. I don't even know if that's how I pronounce his name quite right. I watched Red Eye a couple times, but that doesn't seem quite right to me. When I watched this, I really doubted that what he expressed was in response to the kind of point or sentiment being put across by the various women shown. And I was right to doubt that, because here's what he said with a little bit more context.
These politicians spend more time vetting their hotel rooms, checking their mini bars, than they did on this bill. So screw them. You should feel no shame burning this bill to the ground.
Not quite what the ad makes it look like. He was not saying screw women who try to get illegal abortions and die because it's unsafe. Go ahead and argue that the effect is the same, but you've got to actually argue that if you want to make a serious political ad. Otherwise, you come off like a trickster. That's not really what most people desire in the House of Representatives, I'll bet. What are you doing? Again, let me shift this shit around. How do you think Brianna would feel about it if an ideological enemy of hers did the same with stuff she's said? What if someone made something that turns her into even more of a joke? What if they made something like this.
When I was a child, I remember my parents were so hesitant to get me a computer because they knew that the moment they did, I would just talk about gender issues. Obnoxious, right? But that is what happens every single time. It happens over and over and over and over and over. You know, I'm not a software engineer, and this is just gonna be, I'm gonna lay it out on the table for you. I would rather be a person of color, someone that's gay, someone that's a woman, you know? So I hope that kind of communicates to you how strongly I feel about making it about oppression. I want to give you a very quick story. So I was over at MIT the other day, and I found myself unconsciously realizing broads can't code, right? A lot of women engineers have to go back to the kitchen, right? Like, this is not personal. This is just talking about a problem in an objective way.
100% genuine, unedited, legit, authentic recorded footage straight from the source. I swear.
I don't want a single Republican to run unopposed in 2018.
I'm pretty sure some people have wet dreams about running against Brianna Wu and being handed an automatic win. And I'm a US citizen, but I've grown up in the UK, so maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but nice point, Wu, but aren't you going to be running against a fellow Democrat? Shouldn't you be focusing on what's important for your run, specifically? You know, like, maybe instead of that clip of Greg Gutfeld, you could have included something about your actual opponent's record of being pro-life and anti-abortion? If this is the angle you're gonna take, that's what you need, isn't it? Like I said though, maybe I just don't get it.
Women need to run for office at every single level, and if you can't run, support someone who can.
Scratch out the implication of just because they're a woman, and I can get behind that. A message about getting involved with politics, yeah! She means support women because woman though, doesn't she? I.e., vote for me because woman. Allegedly.
I stood up to the alt-right during Gamergate.
Excuse me? What in the actual fuck are you talking about? You mean Gamergate, the loose group of people who used the hashtag to communicate and actually wasted loads of time trying to convince the media that they're not right-wing? That's who you're saying is alt-right? No. Fuck off. You don't even believe that, and I can prove it. Here's your answer to what Gamergate is from before the alt-right became a hot thing you could latch on to.
The people that did this to me are these group of people that are very upset with the way games are changing.
Does that describe the alt-right? Is that what she's trying to tell people she's going to protect them from? No. For a while, I've felt kind of sad for Brianna. I thought she was just totally messed up. Make no mistake, she is, but she's also a goddamn cold-blooded messed up snake. I thought the claim on her website that she fought to the alt-right and won was delusional, but now I can see it's obviously a knowing attempt at deception. Not a good one, of course. No one's fooled. It's like a cookie crumb-covered kid telling you they didn't eat anything. But with Wu, there was always the possibility she's just crazy enough to believe what she says. Not anymore.
I'll stand up to them in Congress, too. If not now, then when?
Stand up to them how exactly? You gonna push an anti-Pepe meme bill? Or are you just saying that you're gonna continue blocking people on Twitter?
I'm ready for a bolder Democratic Party. I'm Brianna Wu, and I approve this message.
Should have said, I'm Brianna Wu, and I actually look nothing like this. Holy shit, if she pulls this off, first time she shows up, people are gonna call the police and tell them that a strange homeless man is impersonating a representative. What a genius way of getting the trust of the people. Don't show your face properly and alter your voice. Fuck me. Having said all that though, part of me does want to see the circus of her actually getting anywhere with this. Actually, seeing her pounded into the ground before she can even take one step would be more satisfying. Final answer. Fingers crossed. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.